One Anas Aremeya wa Anas. Ewo case a Anas Aremeya wa Anas. Edi bia ye Kwaku Anan no. Wo bae wa bechirim. So wo he me video no wa bechirim. Wa bechirim de to no. Wa bechiri nyinam. Ene wo kan che Ghana fo ne say. Se wo beto so no Kwaku Anan ene Anas Aremeya wo e ko ntokwa a. Memmeje nchichimu mbepata bia. Busa se die ne si na ano no. Ansa no apata no. Na die ne si Kwaku Anan na ano. Na ano na medi me video bae. Ana mbechire mu kire Ghana fo say. Anas Aremeya wa Anas. Edi Kwaku Anan ko gina wankona. Omo kwaye adwuma wo. Ena Anas nso egichiri sika hye wunuansam. Wale sika ne hye wunuansam mu na no. Ana wunua eye den enso gye ye no no so say sika ne de waje a hyire butum ne ade ade a. Enti wunua wo hwa na video ya ba abonten say ayi Kwaku Anan ba beje bribe. No say edi asem na wunua ne me kan ho asemi. Enti say ya ye kasai. Kwaku Anan edi Anas Aremeya wa Anas ni picture ankasa. Wodi aba abonten mebo mu ati Anas picture na wodi aba. A wono asem o se otoko wo be ko akopim se ba ko be kun ho afiri asasi so. Utim se ade na hye wunua ba. Na video ye da so ye time wa Kwaku Anan a wo ye investigative journalist ekọ ye okopie mu e wa Anas na ase se omukọ akoye omukodi dwuma na se na Anas de camera to nua so a ye record no nti sika de kenkan ma unua so je ban ya de kọ so to ati ase unua jiska no se wo de koye adwuma no afide Kwaku ada o dwene ne ho otinani a Kwaku age bribe na expose na mabonten a che se enya asem ketwa enti no ana Kwaku Anan ene eye Anas ntokwa no a omo ku sesei ewo eye CTV ho no wa wonti ase no ntokwa no na machire wo efiri enye so wote ho na ofili se okoko ntokwa keke ye di wo no ankasa beka nanu asem na video ye da so time wa ye di bribe ne ma chairman na chairman so je ne bribe ni wie no ana Anas edi wo no beto abonten ye ntie chairman ahomane a okum
by 10 minutes time we finish. Yeah, because I've wasted a lot of time.
I know.
I need to also enter into another terrain.
I know.
Particularly also to where I'm going is it has to do with this stuff we are bringing out. And see, like you said, so many things are in the pipeline.
Yes, please.
We are looking at one, coming out with a big exposure on radio. And this exposure goes to your main target, all right?
Yes.
I think I kept mentioning that long ago and to your brother. So one exposure that we are gathering all the informations. And like I said, a lot's coming up.
Okay.
Sure. There's a lot coming up. So, and I'm speaking for myself.
Okay.
Sure, because there's separate projects in the pipeline. My project is one. We are coming out with a radio program, an investigative undercover show on him. Right. Number two, we are also, the team is putting up our technical team and everything. Then we are coming out with a big documentary. This documentary is going to capture a lot of things. We are looking at roughly about 2.5 hours, or if not less than 2 hours. What we are left to do is that this documentary is about to take off. We are about to shoot. All right, yeah. We bring studio, what do you call it, cost. We bring our camera, equipment. We bring the studio into question. Mark demo so that we do in common. We bring the studio into question. We bring equipment into question. Then we bring the crew into question. All right. Then the information gathering itself and all the people who must come on set. They come on set. That's what I say. Yeah, because this man has something. You have something. Somebody has something. You must fuse all of them with hard evidence that will fuse into it. Then the fourth one is about how we premiere and the places that we want to premiere it. Okay. So the cost comes huge. On that score, we leave it to Ghanaians to judge. So on your front, on Momo front, we are looking at giving a cost of 35,000 Muslim Femra. your documentary.
That's 350 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you're more friend count from now. So, maybe the more crown, fine. We will not beat it. We won't.
Please, hope you heard the amounts. I don't call you, so you
no
just.
Big deal. No big deal.
I prefer you count it. Me, I prefer when I give you money.
No.
If you can't, no. That's all. That's all. Say and swear.
No, I mean, it's not a matter.
Listen to me. There should be trust between us. I understand you.
I can figure it in my hands. Don't worry.
Give it to me.
The most important.
Let me take some out and figure it out. Say as well.
I mean, don't play.
No, I'm not playing. It's just.
No.
I understand you. I understand
my goodness. Call your brother. You who send your best sort in
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay. Eti Kwaku Anan video na ewa abontia ne buafu no eni. Enye Kwaku bofo die ni. Kwaku bofo die na kasa wo no afa mba abonte kra enye no ni. Ye fe no to nchen. Eti Kwaku Anan na akoko hia nko mo koye mu investigation. Ono abekirechire story mu ade property si enti a sika ne be di ni nsem. Eni ade property enti a ne buafu no. Kwaku ba be kana asem. Wo so oni Anas mienu ba ku bekum ba ko Ghana ho. O Anas mfane lawyers nyina amra. Opekura wonko fa hifa fu nyina mfa mbepe so. Ono Kwaku Anan. Oni Anas ba ku bekum ba ko e wo Ghana ho. Kwaku nsem wo de aba abonte no.
Atre Ghana for some monhwe no oninie. Anas no ohye mask no anu miminim no. But my main can say the ohye mask no say your no asoso na de mi beyi on share max na ye ono a then ye bisa so omrefi ha but so nim say enye ono a de mekan say he should shut up wherever he is peni ka say he say ukotu benu so o mo kontokwa emi so o say ba ne say o bisa o say na no na ba ne say eno ene be ma wasem wetimi hu asem ne mu yie I Kwaku amete I have been a victim of how Anas Aremi Anas eye na adwuma. Somewhere in 2015 I wasn't on TV, I was on radio. Me wo ho. Then a group of chiefs coming from East Dadekotopon. Munim East Dadekotopon. Womo ba me office. Na me wo radio so be ka kire me say they want an investigation and this is not the first investigative program I'm running. If you care to know. Womo ba ye omo se me run an investigation on so me say but this is a journalist I know, a friend because me ni nya ye adwuma pen. Anas Areme Anas. Womo say yes. Na me say Assembly womo see he is encroaching on their lands. With the whole of East Dadekotopon, Honomania. Now, so are you guys sure? Anas, Anas, no, he's not closer to any stuff like that. Yeah, argument in your then at a point. What happened is saying, I have to go on the ground. So, I needed to go on the ground. But before I go on the ground, then I place a call to this Anas without mask. Only then to place a call to him, say, Anas, yes, sir, what James Sibi wo, Chado, and then I say for, is this true? Or say, bro, it's not true. And that he's going to buy a land. And a land will be person or jail assassin free in him. And at the end, okay, can say me nanam say no, come forward, ni nim komo. Or say no, many times I'm about forward because why busy financing I'm saying no problem. Then I have to go on the ground to check, collaborate what I was told to that of what is being put out there. Only to go and realize that, as someone I have for no more is that they go to Ponde by no. Necessarily what? Avalanche of complaints, accusations, allegations, including say people I spoke to, some were politicians, some were businessmen, including the Roman Catholic Church, the big church in Chado. Roman Asofwe. Any friends and sister Teresa, when we never complain, say, Anas is encroaching on their lands. How? And if some of you care to know, there were ministers, including a minister like the former minister for friends and local government, Martin J. Kosa. Anas, Anas, of Bimbila, Northern Region. So the question is, then I was seven crown for assassins. Sir, is that the Koton Ponsasi a young crown for dear? At a point, there were two families fighting on the land. One called Tewi Attach Nachefo, woman a call for Anas, I remember Anas, by so no fight because of Anas, has built the clouds and his image and blah 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 into Omebwam. Only then Anas came, Anas abe entrenching and realized that no, and Crofonu ain't need the capacity much. So he knowing the in and outs of the system, so take advantage over the situation. This is how Anas got himself in the lands in Chad, where John Mahama lives now. Anas was accused of dropping land gas all over the place. Now, the trust that was formed by Peter Alajeteno eventually went into another transition. So I was so overwhelmed. And I'm saying, what is going on? Every move to bring Anas closer for us to understand what is going on. So we realized that no, what we need to do is that we have to do a documentary about this. Is this the guy who claims to be the self-righteous, the gatekeeper? Now, on radio, then I had made announcements that this is what is going on. And we need to put this documentary out for Ghanaians to know. Because Anas, and we think that he's not the person he claims to be. Ghanaians, guess what? This was in 2015. Once we were plotting to do this documentary, Anas was preparing to release his number 12 documentary of Kwesi Nyantakyi. Now, when Oscautio who said no, at that time I'd come to interview him about the issues going on in Chado. Quickly, no, yes and no. He has to discredit this journalist Kwaku Anan first before anything comes out. How he managed to sense, he said, no, I was plotting to do a documentary to expose him. I don't know. I was there just one particular time. Making them say, I kept say 2 weeks for him to drop the number 12. So the atmosphere was charged. Then a gentleman by name called Kwatin, whose name surfaced in the last conversation between Ahmed and then Vince Amache, that boy Kwatin, another useless idiot. Or Sumano, and I didn't know who this guy was. This boy calls me and says, Opeso ni mi di nkomo in terms of opeso shia me. Dem ni ko shia wa Afrikiko. Ye ko shia branche say, me wofa eka number 12 na eba no, and that ne wofa any Kwesi Nyantakyi. Akoye business of $1 million say sika no. Aye bi me ne wofa na dwane akɔhye bunu ho baby because of the expose. Na am say really na womati say Mimi be documentary be about this same Anas or no say cleaning system. And so that's true. But we are in the preparational state because what we have is so much. Or say then me what say they want to come and sponsor that documentary. And I'm so really no big deal. Yeah, they see a juma. Then we departed. Now Obaya no, he just put on the table a checkered bag. No, this is no so. I thought that was a bag. The next day, and on some frames so no one for Onina Kobon Command and Wafa Jia to me say they are ready to come on board and feed on that documentary. About the second time, Odru one or the same checkered bag, Odisi upon also, and or the envelope to us, and the Wafa say unfair money. Now, we and the commitment he said they want to sponsor them. So, oh, really? How kind your offer bit me? Now the envelope now bring me scared them to me, Yaman and Koon. Meet me, baby, what be frame? Oh, by ya, what is he come and say, Minje? Now, Wafa say, and the commitment at chess on a documentary, no problem. Then that meeting also ended. Then the second time you say she abuse, no say, ne wafa say, only some say da ben check, da ben ye pesi ye document. I'm saying you, ora. And it's our frame ya buy. Please tell wafa say onto no boise. And also ye be kono so o yi envelope a free bag no so me wafa say me fema. I'm so catch wafa say me then I say. Nemum ye next meeting there, but that ne me nya. The total cost of our documentary, because we need to speak to the television station. Me need time I make Independence Square ne say na akoye that's they be no no, I'm not interested in that. Yeah, the TV stations need to telecast. The third one, then we've gone to check with some TV stations knowing
at the end of the day, what you are now wanje. And na Ghana for ni busa usisi ya o. Ati make an uncle for say Kwaku for the Ayo gogo before the and we chiri mu achire mo. Eti se oje ya na wan gene de chairman na beka nanu mu asem. Yenti chairman. Yenti chairman.
Me be yina chire Ghana for how kind your offer beti me aye. Na wo the envelope na bring me sika dem timi nyama ne nko ho. Mitimi ba bi o, wa be frɛ me. Wo ba ya, wo di sika ma me say menye. Na wo fa say, the commitment that says on babe documentary. No problem. Then that meeting also ended. Then the second time you say she biom. No say, ne wo fa say, on be some say da ben na che. Da ben ye pese ye document am say you, ora. Anything I will frame here buy. Please tell wo fa say onto no boase. And also ye be kono so o yi envelope a free bag no so me wo fa say me fema. I'm so catch over some then I say. Nemum, your next meeting in the badata nemenya the total cost of our documentary because we need to speak to the television station. Me need time I make Independence Square ne say na akoye that's they be or no, I'm not interested in that. Yeah, the TV stations need to telecast. The third one, then we've gone to check with some TV stations knowing how much this documentary was going to cost, including the footages are as you on the ground near the best documentary. So the third one, we met at hotel my friends and Kempiskis and then I wrote everything on paper. Right there now, you better Danny so Miss Anan, me what I say me female. And they say you figure me catch and then our next meeting I'll bring our sponsorship to this documentary. Now listen to me well. So when Nima Simbia Shasia. Na so we be John be kick kasabin some phone tremia no I measure because so be me am donya me I will slap you to death.
Hey go asembe nya butre kakra na we asombo be ne wom obi nim bibi na obisa wa no asombo be ne wom asembe nya butre kakra hey gogo na eni abro opese Anas case we na da ho no Bribe bi omudi atono so ban ya de ne ho ahwan ni nyina no odi we ni ete ne ho ndimoma oni ante ne ho o ya aduma na ngokoye na Anas esete ne up what is it mo oni ante ne ho udi agobabu waso mapra wo wahiti.
We are talking about life and death matter here. Do you know how many people Anas haremi Anas e this boni way or dey di omo a this stupid entrapment, this stupid foolish entrapment business. Ghanaian authorities could allow Anas to go scot-free with all of this. You can understand how passionate I have been when it comes to this little twitch. Now, me try anywhere. Obi send a message by said, Anas, Kwaku, go and teach Anas. A friend said, Kwaku, a lesson. Me doing me anywhere Anas will go is what I'm looking. Me upa, famiko US what all the Kwaku na wabroso. You can take Agyapong to anywhere in the world. For me, anywhere they may be corner, my Agyapong they be a pace corner. Come me yes came out. But anywhere, Anas is prepared to walk with me down the aisle. Swear to God, I'm too much ready. Asuma me catch me. Ni na ko Korea saying, Korea say, Abrante ni jam wa call ya pet. Then how many days? It could be about 4 to 5 days. Then a colleague of mine, who was a journalist and I don't know, say out of we free edumanim, called me and said, Kwaku, you've met some guys. Uno make kodin komo. Charlie, that was a bad move. And I say, how? Henry. No, say yes. I say, you know what? Those guys now question, Anas nipa, almost man as some rame and trapel. And I say, but do you know the discussion it's about the documentary I'm about to do? And I say, no. Before I do a public court of public opinion, they put the snippets of this into the airwaves. They charge the atmosphere to the extent that one can won. What is that one some near day banwa? No soon no crying and I didn't need Anas very evil and very wicked. This is what they did to Kwesi Yantechi. Abrante me can same way about 1 hour. Na me who me first video pam at the public domain, telling a story which is completely different from what we had in Afrikiko. Until and almost about the afternoon time, no almost drop another video, bam, and also ebedaho.
Kwaku we die, asem we die Kwaku, udibim. Asem we de me mo dibim. We de metwa interview ho no akire ma kire Ghana omohuru se wonte sa. Nti we de metwa interview. Eno am flow kwa wamfa, fa me call na me no woni ma ya akasa sa yele. Fa me call. Na me we de metwa interview na o kire mu yi pa. Why? Nti we de Kwaku te me ka mes flow. Me we program me flow no we metwa interview correct. We de wudi bim, me ma wudi bim pa.
On share mask me be yina kire. The bed discussing them drop another video, bam, and also ebedaho. Hey, and when you check all these videos here, What you say, none of the issues about discussing corresponds with what is in the video. And the video, they've put a narrative behind the video. A narrative that is not my word is about them. I don't know what can I say. Now, me share video and I'm saying, hey, just someone here came. Are we serious? This is how I am. We are with Juma. Now, when the man my me documentary. So if he said that we are no, and then the crowd, I don't know my forward. But you know something, he needed to do that quickly to discredit Kwaku Anan of what he's about to do so that he can save his image. And from that day, I'm saying, hey, and once who Anas took Kwaku Anan to media commissions, a media commission for MMA investigating me because I'm disgracing him, and that he has come to give me a bribe. Now listen and cross the dot and the T and make a sense of it. Say, somebody who has said openly coming to do his documentary, and you go and give him money. Then after that, you go and make a narrative that you've come to give him bribe. A bribe to stop exposing you, or a bribe to do what? And from that day, you, all this your self-style entrapment business, you are making it look as though you are fighting corruption. I will expose you until the world will end. Hey, make Kwaku. But you know what? A lot of people are now taking this thing to them. Many of them, he succeeded and destroyed them. But me, you can't. I'm also a journalist. So let's face it squarely. Okay? Let's face it squarely. Now who be kick and say me be attack Anas for what? Ghana have be sure me do nyame. Aremia. We no lawyers. You can even have the whole million lawyers in Ghana. Me, I'm not scared. Me no be con boot for boot until this world me no ba could be free mo. It's a sworn enemy and a path we are not going to stop crossing. You think you are the most wicked boy? I am wicked than you are. And journalism, we all went to school. I said, journalism is not done. The face of the Anas, Anas, whose face is not covered. There's another Anas be there, and the face I covered, only me no. But this is the Anas I know, whose face is not covered. Maybe you haven't seen that face before. Tonight, maybe you Yes. Folks, take a listen. Look at this face. The Anas without a cover face. Look at him and check what he's doing in the room with those people. Take a listen.
Yeah. The paper is with the Ahmed.
Yes, you know what to discuss at the end. You talk a bit of politics.
No problem. That's my lovely passion. I like it.
So again, we start with a normal conversation. We do business. We are very interested in the business. And you ask them personally, what can you do to help them?
I'll ask both of them what's your power and what's your relation to the projects and how you can confirm for us when you can handle the papers which we are replying.
So it's a girl.
I understood, but you misunderstood me. I know that, I know what you said. I get it.
Is everything okay?
Yes, I really okay. It's 4 seats over there. Only 5.
It's
5 seats over there.
5 seats.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 seats is enough.
The girl.
Great. So among with the image, yeah. This is the Anas I know without a cover face. Onini. So if there's any Anas there with a cover face, then I don't know you. But if you are the same person, Wunia and Abramian Komo, you are prepared, Papa. Somebody is asking me one of the stupid questions I don't want to. I have 18. I have your mother. Meaning 80 million. I have your mother. Okay? Don't come and speak rubbish. Oh. Don't just get out. This is the Anas without a face cover. If he's the same person, we are telling him, so Omra, me and Misanasem. But wherever he is, I tell him, remain silent and shut up. You and your surrogate. Remain silent and shut up. Me my ready train. Me be yin for ni biatremo. Na dia me be yatre wi, ube hu se, afi abranti e friend Ahmed Swali or video num. That's why I'm telling Ghana police is say, nobody needed to send Ahmed Swali picture to anybody. We had dozens of videos. Because me give videos, I mean that maybe dozens of videos. Ahmed Swali's image is in those videos. Ah, woman in Crawford share them all these videos. I mean, these are all their own videos or unedited videos. Mumi Sano said, how did this video came out? Is it the one? If he's the one, then we'll know another time. Ahmed Swali was in the meeting. When we hear rehearsals, when we are no more victim na abeshim. We juma bomb basuma. Take a lesson. Watch this video. Namube Ahmed Swali in the video. Take a lesson.
When you choose more than this guy, I don't have anyone that I depend behind. Really. A lot of people we hired and they are maybe long time with us, but always they make mistakes. I have to take care about these by myself. I have to travel here and here and here because our investment is not in one country. If we don't follow like that, we'll lose.
You are preparing the after gas and after oil.
Yes.
I think this is very, very good.
This is important for future. So what's the next project we talk about? We talk about the hotel before.
We think about the hotels. Railway.
Now, Monshe, imagine that. The extreme right picture no is what Anas put to a US was say. Ono sa picture no ni three eyes yabo said no. But now below that picture is another guy sitting there. And that's not Anas. This is a gentleman by name Daniel Dazi. He's a Ghanaian working with the BBC. Now, what's your picture me and one? Both the left one and then the lower one, both almost a par. It's a move. Obi beka se me cover menim me say and soon or how a debra mine ebinie. And I want the US court to understand them. Sadena shen and nimnoa. Watch your space was American court no any lawyers am be careful say enya ni real face no. They met me akan. Eno enya ni real face. No. There's a lot. On
Abusiafo aye pinso. Tro comment say aye pinso. Aduma no amu aye pinso. Say Kwaku Anan any Anas case no. What it is about ku ewu ansa asem wo twa so. Enti Anas nyanwu anaso no nyanwu ye ne de. Enya de asem wo ye betima twa so. Na meja ase menya me nua Kwaku. Na me na twetwe nkomo abusa na one or two questions bi. E wo sa case we hu. De no person wo kire o chiche mu kire. Mama the message of Adia mebusa na one or two questions bi. Na wa kire mu de akire yi pa. Na Kwaku Anan wie ye no. Yanko eye America. Honorable Kennedy wa hine Agyapong eni Anas ejina eye akon no. Ewo eye America court. Na court ho no enkomo bi aba abonten eye video. Anas no kire se eye judge no kan se wabua eye Kennedy efo. As say ya ye ka say woman $18 million. Na video no de ba abonten no. Metimi enya full video ni nyina. Say Anas the tree baby a judge no kasa no kekasi ani no ode no abreye. But full video ni nyina ba be dia mebo ni nyina moati de course wan kasa mebo ni nyina moati sisi. Now yankwa eni enkotie de Anas ne de ba abonten no. Na judge ne say Anas wini $18 million no. Ye wia na ma bo eye full video no anase full audio ni nyina ade crop ni see ye e wo court dem ho ankasa na mebo a chiro sisi a video we de minim se mu nyina mo hu dada minim se mo hu.
Presuming 5 million, actual 5 million, and punitive 8 million. With your verdict and your note, your jury service in this case is complete. I truly have enjoyed working with you. You've been an attentive jury. Thank you so much for your service. You are discharged. Get out of what you can. Thank you so much. Everyone appreciates your service. so the court's decision, if we start at the end, the court is denying the request for mistrial, and everyone can file motions at the appropriate time, and the court will address everything after the motions are filed appropriately and then responded appropriately. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Okay. Good luck to everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming on, Brett.
Okay. Eti, according to Kwaku Anan, tie ina mebeka ni yo. According to Kwaku Anan narration wa de Bible ntin sisi ano. Nipa na no ogina ho no, e wo court ho no, pade ogina ho yi no. Anas se woni gina ho yi no. According to Kwaku Anan e kire Ghana for say, enya Anas na gina ho no. Na emom eye enipa bi ono so ye adwuma o BBC ho, pade we do da form ho na wo hye space no. And do da so no so hye space no. Ozo mu nyina spectacles. Na emom do wo soro ho on side left wo TV no so no. Ene do wo form ho on side right e wo TV no so no. Saa enipa no emom ana ekogina court no. Etide no ogina court ho no eye padi no oda ase no enya nurse no according to Kwaku we say padi we no eye adwuma o BBC. Enti so o eye adwuma o BBC anase nso wo no o eye adwuma. Enti Kwaku pese wo kire say ebetima aye possible anase ye possible say o mu mienu no ana atimu up ana o ma ba akona ko gina mu se ono mu ya nurse because se obi ehun nanimu da. What as you be ehun nanimu da. Enti wo no be gina wo se wo na ye de anase ya. So wontimi nka se enye wo na de anase. Enti Kwaku pese wo kire say enye we no emum ene ya Anas no na Anas na nkasa na wo video na oboye no onu ni one gina hase no onu ase na wo video bi mu na wo kwaje nsaase bi no onu ane wo sa video ni mu no so ho enti Kwaku e kiremu a kire Ghana for le say nipa no ogina court no kra no enya Anas no na yenko court ho na yenhwa de bi video na e ba abonten a yenyina ani ehunu no we na da so no Anas mu na de ba ya mi yetimi nya bi a ye hweye so ate ase na de e pan ni si wo court ho judge ne ka asan judge ne ka say asem wabo atu agu anasa asem no matu ahyeda anasa wabo ne katinchina twan anasa ho asem te sen me ma full video ni nyina full video no ana me de beto so no yentie ade kropoten e course e wo court ho yentie.
This is what the jury said. In our initial finding, we awarded $18 million with a breakdown of presumed damages $5 million, actual damages $5 million, and punitive damages $8 million.
We're done.
No, Judge. I'm requesting a mistrial. They are to consider punitive damages in the initial, and you can't mold the verdict. I'm once again requesting a remitter based upon that, and a new trial should be granted based upon that response, Judge. They were not considered. They were outside of your. I'm just making a record, Judge, now, if I could. Those are outside your instructions. They were required to follow your instructions. They didn't follow your instructions. You're not permitted to mold that verdict because that's not form. A judge can only mold form. For instance, there's a lien, and you can mold the lien if the parties agree. You could pre-tax versus post-tax income. The judge is permitted to mold the verdict based upon the specific evidence that was presented. You are not allowed to mold that verdict. That's a remitter. There should be a new trial granted, and unfortunately, they did their job, and we should send them home.
Judge, basically, my thought is on their form, which is what was submitted to the court, it did state that it was presumed damages. On that basis, I believe that the instruction that Your Honor should send back was that the punitive damages and the actual damages were not included in that judgment.
Mr. Morrison.
I'd like to see the law, Judge. I think Your Honor is more than equipped than either of us to understand that when the jury sends that back and they haven't followed your instructions, and you can't send them back to re-deliberate, had they had that question during deliberations, you could have given an instruction, a curative instruction, and brought them in and said, punitive damages are for not to decide, just decide. First of all, there should have been actual damages because there was only presumptive damages presented. There were no actual damages. And Judge, it's just simply a mistrial. It's a mistrial. We need go no further.
Okay, so Mr. Forson, it's your request that we discharge the jury, right?
We discharge the jury, and you declare a mistrial. You put it back in the hopper. We'll be back in 6 to 8 weeks, either with Your Honor or another judge.
Okay, and what's your request, Mr. Chair?
My request is a curable. Is a curable error. I mean, they made a decision. Granted, it wasn't a decision supported by the instructions, but if they did come back and award punitives where they shouldn't have awarded punitives, Your Honor can correct that by curative instruction. So I don't see a mistrial here, but I leave it to your judgment, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to ask Mr. Tahir a question. So, Mr. Forson, please don't interrupt. So, Mr. Tahir, why isn't a valid verdict $5 million on presumed damages, $5 million on the actual damages, and $8 million on the punitive damages?
I would accept that. The only problem I have is that they weren't instructed on punitive damages, so that would go outside the instructions that Your Honor gave them. Yes.
Okay. And so, Mr. Forson, you want to say anything?
Yes, Judge. I'll use plaintiff's argument about unringing the bell. We have no idea if the actual and presumed damages would have been different had they followed your instructions. We can't go into their mind. Once they say that, Judge, they anticipated something they shouldn't have. It's not a valid verdict, and more importantly, Judge, the rules do not permit you to mold that verdict. It's not a question. You're not permitted to now change that verdict. Now, maybe if it was a different verdict sheet, things would have been different. If it was broken down separately, they would have had more clarity. But they didn't. But Your Honor is not permitted, once you find that out, to do anything else but cause a mistrial, because that verdict has been returned and it cannot be cured. You cannot go back and have them reconvene.
Well, Judge, this all boils down to Mr. Corriston's own insistence that we take punitive damages off the original verdict sheet. If you remember what I did, I put it on the second page, and then we had a break saying return to. So I think if they had the original verdict sheet, they would have recognized that they weren't supposed to go beyond the compensatory. But somehow he insisted that we take it off the verdict sheet completely and have a separate verdict sheet. And this is what has created this problem. It's curable, at least I think, but I leave it to your judgment, Your Honor.
Okay, the court's decision is we are going to bring the jury in, we'll discharge the jury, and then we can keep talking.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, please bring the jury in.
Eti abusiafo de na eye judge no all kan kane na e ba abonten a obi ati bie no eye enkofo a omo no akotena jury no omo frefre se munya mote ase da na ma babs kwale nkiremu aba ya frefre omo akira adwene eboa ma court proceedings akoso eno na ne all kan enye se verdict bi na debi eti video we no ana Anas ne pese Kennedy Agyapong nkofo nso e postu so ono no eba abonten no so omo frɛ o so omo frɛ Kennedy Agyapong nkofo no say omo so a copy of video no into omo so postu bi na Kennedy Agyapong nkofo no so postu bi bia nto abonten audio we ekwa mfa so nya de emi amasem na emom no Anas no ene record ye de ba abonten wa bra court ka kire omo say ma obia en record bi mfa ma abonten na emom betimatwa pictures it wonu kwa wasanya case was outside who because court ka kire omo say video we on the ba ma yehu bi nye ono anka yehu bi on me yehu ye court ka kire omo say mo obi an video omo ntwa omo ko betima twetwa pictures and cool it won na release video we to abonten kan na atija ena opese kan mo nso nkofo nso release omo nso kopeto na nka ni mienu nyina atija ena omo nso anye it won no de ode ba na ewo mu say kena wini case na ho anwan na ho anwan na ho anwan audio ni full video ho e contest do no na kana enye no kore no betenu de omo mfa mba abonten de ha de ye de ato ye de se ya kire ya adwene wa ha it won no onyo enye a very say me man ko America hobby aja say man ko America nko court hobby Anas ene de aba abonten ma ye nyina enye bia ye hwe enye onu a miminim eye judge ya wogira hoyi enye onu na de ba abonten a miminim court dem ho enye onu na de ba abonten ma ye nyina hu ya yin nim se enkovo bi kura twetwa mo camera mu se na secret camera na show mo hu se na de na show mo hu ene ye toje o mo ankasa iti asem no eye Mr. Africa no mo ba be start as ade no kwa fe nem se be start afi na agro no kra ba be start wu enye so o maka asem na view iti di aba bonten a di da Joy FM ni TV3 ni wan ni ndie mu kike mu na koka no mo forget it afi na asem na kra ko mo ba betena se edi hu nkomo ankasa iti first one na ba bonten no e azan enye no kre dia meti maka wo ho aro na emom ni tie ni case you know